All right, hello everyone. So today I want to try and make just a pretty simple program to search through a string, and then we're going to have it return the search word if it is actually inside of our string. So you can see up here I've got my string header file included just because there's some functions in there that I want to use, and you can also see that I've already gone ahead and I've just kind of initialized this kind of string. I called it phrase, but you can call it whatever you want. And you can also put whatever you want in here. But this is what we're going to be searching through. So the way I want to search through this is using the strstr string, I'm assuming. I don't really know if it has another name, but I'm going to be calling it string. And what this does is it looks for the first instance of a string within another string. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to come up here and we're going to make another string. And we're going to call it search. And we'll limit it to 10 characters because I don't think it really needs to be any longer than that. So we'll go like this. And in here, we will just set this to nothing for now. So for the sake of user experience, obviously we want to be able to see what we're searching through. So let's go ahead and let's print off our string to the screen so that we can actually see what's going on in there. And we'll do phrase. And let's also, let's throw a semicolon on there first of all. And let's also give some kind of prompt so that the user understands what this program is and what it's doing within the phrase. That, and there we go. So now if we get this out of here so that our function actually works, let's go ahead and run this and just make sure that everything is going okay so far. So here you go, you can see it's displaying our phrase and it's giving us our prompts so that the user knows what they're doing. So we know now that this is going to search through our string. So typically I would use scanf, but I guess scanf has been deprecated or it's not well supported for some compilers. So instead of scanf, we're going to do get, and in here we'll do our search. So now we have our phrase, we're displaying our phrase and our prompt, and after our prompt, we are receiving input from the user. So the next thing I want to do, like I said, we're going to be using the string to search within our phrase up here. Let's go ahead and let's make another string. I've said string so many times already, and I'm like 5 minutes into the project. But there you go. We've got another one, and I'm just going to initialize this as a pointer for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that result and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say result is equal to string, and we're going to say phrase and search. So basically what this means is this is what we're looking through. So we're searching through our phrase and we're looking to find an instance of our search. And obviously our search here is whatever the user wants to put in. So now our result is going to equal this function here. So obviously we need to know if our search was successful or not. And the way we can do that is by checking to see if result is valid, or in other words, if our result appears within our phrase. So we'll say if result is not equal to null. So in any case where result is not null, let's do printf, and let's say something like your search was found, like that. And we'll put a new line in there. Let's change this to an exclamation mark because we're obviously excited that our function is working. And then else, so in all other cases, or basically just if result is null, you don't have to specify that, but that's the condition that we'll do this. We'll say printf, your search was not found. And we'll put another new line in there. So there we go. I think if we run this now, we should have a very basic idea of how this program is going to work. So there you can go. Let's look for the word computer because we know it's in there, obviously. Your search was found, so that's working good. And we'll do it one more time. And we'll just throw some gibberish in there to see that our else is working. Your search was not found. Perfect. So obviously just knowing if our result is in our string is not really that helpful to an extent. So let's try and make it to see if we can give like the position of our search term. So we'll do like the index of it. First thing I just want to try, I know it's not going to work, but I just want to explain why. So if we came in here and we just wanted to print out our results, we'll go like this, we'll do %s and we'll do result. You'll notice something kind of weird, and maybe this is not expected to some people, or maybe it is, but if we do, let's do the word computer again. You can see your search was found. And then when it returns this and it's printing out our result, it's giving us every word after the first instance of our search. So actually, if that wasn't a good example, just because computer is the second word, but if I did like the word it, for example, you can see it cuts off everything before this, but instead of just returning the word it cuts off, or it includes all the rest of this as well, which is not really what we want, again, because it's not very helpful. We're not isolating our result. So I think there are a couple ways we can go about this. But what I want to do in my case is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create two integers. I'm going to call it position location 1 and position location 2, like that. So I'm going to use these to find the index, so the starting and the ending character count, I guess you could say, of whatever word we're looking for. That was probably not a very good explanation of what I'm doing, but let me get some of the code down and I'll actually show you what I mean. So we're going to use another function included within the string header, and we're going to do string length. So we're going to find the length of our overall phrase. So there's the length of our phrase, and we're going to subtract the string length of our result. There you go.
Hey you guys, just jumping in and editing here to say I did not do a very good job explaining this in the video. So what I have here is just a very simple diagram to show you how I'm finding the length of the string up to the first character of our search. So if our entire string phrase is 76 characters long, and we know that our result is going to be 28 characters long, we can find the position of the first character of our search by just subtracting those two. And I added that extra 1 on the end to account for the first actual letter of our search. So hopefully this kind of clears things up a little bit, and you can see exactly how I got the first position of the search term.
And we're also just going to throw an extra 1 on the end there, just because I have a feeling, based on the way I know things work, it's probably going to end up cutting off the last character. So we'll do +1. So there you go, position location 1. So this is the starting index of whatever our search term is. And obviously we need the ending index of our search term, or else it's just as helpful as printing the result if we don't know the ending index. Let's do string length of the saying, that. And we're going to, or not the saying, sorry, the phrase. So the length of the phrase minus the length of the result. And we're going to add the length of the search term. Search. There we go. So up here, this is finding the starting character index of our search term. And here, this is finding the ending. So all this is doing is it's just basically saying, if we know what our first index is, all we need to do to find the last index is get the length of our search in there. So let's come up with some way to display this information to the screen. So we'll throw another print in there, and we'll do a new line, and we'll say result begins at character index, and then we'll throw our first integer in there. There we go. And we'll do ends at, there you go. And all we're doing in here, as you probably guessed, is we're going to do position locator 1 and position locator 2. So let's go ahead and test this out and make sure things are working so far. So let's look for the word eat. So there you go. Your search was found. Result begins at character index 17 and ends at 20. So we go 1, 2, 3, 15. 16, 17. There's our first index, 18, 19, 20. There you go. So now we know that the word beat begins at character 17 and ends at character 20. Obviously, for the sake of a search function, this is still not really that useful if you're parsing through large amounts of data. I guess in this case, it could be fine because it's so short, but I do kind of want to take it to the next level. So obviously, when you're making some kind of search, it would be helpful if it could highlight or kind of point out the word that you searched in the original string. So let's do exactly that. So since our phrase is technically, well, it's a string, but a string in a sense is just a character array. So we're going to make a for loop, and we're going to say, we're just going to make like a basic counting integer. So we're going to say I is equal to 0, I is less than position location 1. And then we're going to say, we're going to do -1 and I plus plus. So inside of this loop, we are going to print, we're going to print the first part of our saying up to where our search result is. So there you go, up to the first position location. So everything before the first index of whatever we're looking for in our phrase is going to be printed back out. So obviously anything bigger is going to be the next part because that's where our search term starts. And getting that to work is actually pretty easy because all we have to do is obviously just print off our search. So let's do that. There you go. So we're printing off our search. But if we leave it like this, it's just basically going to end up reprinting off our entire phrase normally, and we won't be able to see where our search term is. So let's quickly do something to make this colored. So this is just kind of the basic escape code for colors in C. We're going to do this. We're going to go 0 and let's do 31M. So this is going to make the following text red. And just so that everything after this isn't red, let's go back here and reset this to the default color. So there you go. Now it's going to print off our string in red because of this color escape code here. And it's going to set it back to the default color to make sure that everything that follows is not red, because obviously we don't want it to be. So just like up here, where we did a for loop to print off everything before our search, we're going to come down here, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to print off everything after our search. So let's do this. We'll say position locator 2. So instead of starting at 0, we're starting at the end of our search. And we're going to do if I is less than the string length of the phrase. So it's going to go all the way from here to the end of the phrase. We'll increase I. We'll do print. And you probably guessed this, %C, phrase I. So I think this is actually everything we need. Let's take a look and make sure that it's working. So there you go. You can see it's printing off our phrase. It's giving us our prompt. And we can search for what we want here. Again, we'll search for a computer. I don't know why I keep defaulting to that, but there you go. Your search was found. Result begins at character index 3, ends at 10. And you can see there, it's gone and it's printed the entire original phrase, but it's replaced the word computer in red. So now we can see exactly where it is within our phrase. Let's go ahead and throw a new line in there just because that's going to be annoying. Yeah, we'll do it right here. Let's go ahead and run this one more time. Bring it up to the top screen. Let's do the word me. There you go. Your search result was found. It begins at character index 22, ends at 23. Computer once beat me in chess. It highlights it in red, so that's perfect. And obviously, because we didn't change anything in our else statement, if we just throw gibberish in here, it's just going to say your search was not found. Obviously, I keep opening and closing the program. It would be easy to throw this all into a loop if you wanted, but just for the kind of proof of concept that this video was meant to be, I'd say this actually works pretty well. This is obviously very, very simple, like a very basic way of doing it, but I think this might actually be transferable. So to an extent, obviously, you can use some of the concepts and the ideas in here, and maybe make one that's a little bit more robust that you can use for searching through something larger than maybe just a single phrase like that. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. So thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully this helped kind of explain some concepts and ideas, especially with the string function for searching within something. But yeah, we're gonna call it at that.